Will you all please join me? Pledge of allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a roll call?
You need to switch one, sorry. What do you?
Sorry about that.
Thanks, sir.
I shut it off.
Pete's job.
Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Cook?
Here.
Mr. Rogan?
Here.
Ms. Smith? Here. Mr. Williams?
Here. Somebody like to make a motion on the reports?
I'll make a motion. We approve the code compliance report and the code enforcement report for March 2020, the dog control officers report for March 2020, the environmental conservation inspectors, March 20. I said 2020, I mean 2022. I apologize for those reports. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Also make a motion to approve the Patterson Fire Department's first quarter 2022 report and the Patterson Recreation February and March 2022 reports. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion on the supervisor's report?
I'll make a motion. We approve the supervisor's report for December 2021 in the amount of $6,898,262.44. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can we get a motion on the minutes?
And on the minutes, I will make a motion that we approve the bid opening for the Putt Lake Park District Aquatic Vegetation Management. That was done on February 28th, 2022. The highway materials bids on March 16th, 2022. The seasonal lawn maintenance and landscaping for the Putt Lake Park District and the town of Patterson for March 21st, 2022. And the town board meeting minutes of February 23rd, March 9th, and March 23rd, 2022. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we have two abstracts for auditing the bills.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve abstract number 6 dated March 25th, 2022 in the amount of $358,261.63. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I'd like to make a motion to approve abstract number 7A dated April 8th, 2022 in the amount of $1,643.62. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have some budget transfers. I'm sitting here signing.
Yep. First, we have budget transfer number 7, following budget adjustment is necessary to carry forward remaining budget allocations for the EMS building project and the wastewater treatment project capital project with interest. And it's moving, increasing money in the fund balance designated capital accounts, $94,041.35. And increasing the ambulance equipment and capital outlay, $84,959.35. And special services wastewater treatment plant, capital improvements, $9,082. I'll make a motion, town board approve request number 7. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Budget request number 8 as excuse me, following budget adjustment is necessary to allocate additional funds to the receiver of taxes contractual due to a supply order encumbered in the prior year. And it's increasing appropriated fund balance accounts, $578. And the receiver of taxes contractual expense accounts, $578. Promotion town board approve budget transfer request number 8. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. One more, budget adjustment request number 9. Following budget adjustments are necessary to allocate additional funds for unallocated insurance contractual due to increased cost. And that's increasing appropriated fund balances in the amounts of, there's 4 of them. And this go around 2,500, 181, 161, and $343. And then increasing general fund insurance costs, Patterson Lighting District, Refuse District number 2, and Putnam Lake District, in the same amounts that I just mentioned. Make a motion to town board approve budget transfer request number 9. So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Smith, would you like to lead us off?
Sure would. First item on my agenda is the Putnam Lake algaecide treatment. While we did do bids back on February 8th, we have taken a recommendation from the Putnam Lake Park Board that they are not in favor of doing the treatments to the lake, as they have not been happy with the outcome of the beaches during the summer while doing these treatments. In the last board meeting, we discussed it, and Supervisor Williams recommended that if we didn't do them, that we at least do 10 acres. The one company came back and said it really isn't going to make much of a difference. It would probably be a waste of money just to pay for the 10 acres. So we should really be in it all or not at all. So once again, we received another recommendation from the park board asking us that we do not move forward with the treatments, as they would like to take that money and put it towards the dredging project. So I guess that in respect of the park board and them being up there and around the lake and spending the money for the treatments all the years and not really feeling as though that they're happy with the outcome, that the lake is probably closed just as much, going to take their recommendation and make a motion that we do not move forward with the algaecide treatments, and that we allow them to put that money towards their dredging project. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
I just want to add that I think, all of the town board members, myself included, are extremely concerned that we are not going to move forward with the algaecide treatments this year. Even though it may have only had a small effect, that it would have had some effect. But out of respect to the Park Advisory Board, I think we're going to err on that side and follow their recommendation and hope that we have a good season.
Mhm.
Prayers wouldn't hurt.
Okay, so we have a few things from the Mr. Matt Chavarro regarding the Town Patterson Recreation Center. The first is new lifeguard hires. Very excited that we do need these lifeguards. So I'd like to make a motion to approve Sophia Dodd at $13.30 per hour, Fiona Dodd at $13 per hour, and Sarah Jabornik at $13 per hour. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
One of the lifeguards during the summer season was not considered for the pay rate adjustment given to all the lifeguards for the 2022 season. So I'd like to make a motion for this rate adjustment for Ariana de Saint Leon for the 22 pay rate in the amount of $13.30 per hour as a junior guard. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have some new hires for the
Mary,
recreation.
can I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
There was a second part to that.
Yeah.
Oh, there was, I
I
missed
don't
it.
know if we need to address that for Ariana.
Well, actually, I read that and
Oh.
I felt as though that if she would be eligible for the head guard, that we would make that motion when she became the head guard.
It would be
I think
automatic.
Automatic, okay.
Hmm.
All right. I
It would be
apologize for
automatic.
interrupting.
Okay, yeah, I did see that. Oh, what did I miss?
No worries.
Okay. Logan Wild and Robert Mellon as recreation assistants for the Town of Patterson Recreation Department at the rate of $11 per hour. I'd like to make a motion to approve Logan and Robert at the rate of $11 per hour. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. He would also like to hire Mia Crawford as a recreation assistant in the amount of $13 per hour. I'd like to make a motion for Mia's approval. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry, he's got a lot of them in this.
It's getting ready for
more.
summer
Yeah.
season. There's a lot of people.
Well, okay.
One more, Mayor.
One more. All right, so I'd like to make a motion to hire Elise Gazo as our pre-camp leader this summer. Elise has worked as a pre-K assistant at tutor time in Pleasantville the past 2 years while pursuing her master's degree in school counseling. I'd like to make a motion to approve Elise as the pre-camp leader in the amount of $15 per hour. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
And just to make a note that all paperwork should be submitted to Sue prior to the employment of all of those employees. Okay. So here we have the installation of the Failsafe lock-on sliding glass door unit at the rec. This is a wonderful thing. I'm so happy that Matt was able to get someone to do this, and the quote came in at $1,156. This will secure the doors at the rec center, so no one will be able to get in, but in the emergency, everyone could get out. So I'll make a motion to approve the amount of $1,156 to Burchard Door and Lock. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Now he's looking for 50 Sport Tech. Is this Heather color block? Soccer jerseys with logos. The low bidder is Select Sportswear in the amount of $540. I'll make a motion to approve these 50 jerseys to Select Sportswear in the amount of $540.50. So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've got an issue going on with the fire department.
Okay,
I
I'll say
apologize.
aye.
Charlie's got it.
Say
I
aye.
see that. All in favor?
Aye. Okay, I think he's done here. Okay. Here we have some bids for replacement of the 3 entrance lights with the LED at the rec center. These are so nice. I love these LED lights because they're so bright. The low bidder came in from Echo Electric in the amount of $1,000. I'd like to make a motion to approve $1,000 for these 3 lights to Echo Electric. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I would just like to add on this that last weekend we changed out all the lights in the parking lot, LED lights.
Oh, we'll
So
get to see that tonight.
when we all leave tonight, you'll see the LED lights.
Nice.
Carried.
Okay. So now we have a couple of resignations. Cassidy Speller is giving us her official notice at the end of her employment. Cassidy would just like to tell everyone that she'd not be returning to work for the town of Patterson. From the bottom of her heart, she wants to thank you and the town for all the opportunities and support you've given me over the years. It has truly been a pleasure working alongside you and the other town employees and volunteers. And I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to come home, involved with my community and the programs I grew up loving for so many years. Cassidy would like to tell everyone to stay in touch and feel free to reach out to her anytime if they need any support that she can offer the lifeguards. Well, thank you very much, Cassidy, and sorry to see you go. So I'll make a motion to accept Cassidy's resignation. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Cassidy worked at a rec center, but she also led the lifeguarding program for a long time. She was phenomenal at it. I'm so sorry to see her leave.
Good
I was
person.
hoping she was going to come back full time.
Final last resignation is from Thomas Kiernan from the town of Patterson EMS, dated March 28, 2022. Thomas regrets to send his letter of resignation due to unable to fulfill his requirements and duties in ride times. So make a motion to accept Thomas's resignation. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All right, unfortunately, Mr. D'Andriano let us know a short time ago that he wasn't going to be able to make tonight's meeting. So I'm going to start off with the landscape bids. As we do every year, we put out for bid lawn maintenance and landscaping. There are 2 prices. There are 2 bids that go out, one for the area town hall and the areas around town hall, and the other one for the Putnam Lake area. We received bids back in. This year for the town properties outside of the Putnam Lake Park District, the low bidder was 845, who actually submitted a bid that was consistent with past bids that we've received. You all, I believe, have a resolution in front of you awarding the bid to 845 Landscaping. And I'd like to move the resolution, ask that it be entered into the record as though it had been read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The second bid was for the Putnam Lake Park District. I provided everybody a schedule just showing you the difference over the years, what the bids were, and the bid for the Putnam Lake Park District actually came in at twice our typical cost. So at this time, I would like to make a motion to reject all bids for the Putnam Lake Park District landscaping bid.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I would also make a motion to re-advertise the seasonal lawn maintenance and landscaping for the Putnam Lake Park District. Proposals are due in April 26th. We are out of time. I was looking at my lawn when I went home, but got to go sharpen the blades this weekend.
Yeah.
So I would like to make a motion and ask the town clerk to advertise the bids. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Rich, worth noting though is that for the bidding, there was only the one bidder, correct?
There was only the one bid.
Right, so hopefully we'll get from some of the other companies.
The second issue, the second item on Mr. D'Andriano's agenda was the Fox Run Water District. We've kind of had an unwritten policy. We put these water districts out for bid. We typically put them out for a 3-year bid. We extend the bid after the 3 years because there's something to have a contractor doing the water plants that are familiar with the plants. They're, you know, you've got to know just when to tweak them and how to tweak them to make them run properly and not to overuse the chemicals. So we've had kind of an unwritten policy that even though the contract may expire in 3 years, we keep the contractors on as long as they hold their price. Well, for the Fox Run Water District, I received notice from the contractor that he would like to have a substantial increase in his cost. So I put him on notice that we were then going to put it out for bid. He understands that. So at this time, I would like to put out for bid a request for proposals for the operation of the Fox Run Water District treatment plant and ask the town clerk to advertise for bids. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a number of EMS requests. The first one is authorizing the hiring of an emergency medical technician, Mr. Andrew Wheelock. We have a resolution, and I'd like to move the resolution, ask that it be entered into the record as read at a rate of pay of $16.50 an hour.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Second one is hiring a second emergency medical technician, Ariana Insano. Again, we have a resolution hiring this young lady at $16.50 an hour. I'd like to introduce the resolution and ask that it be entered into the record as read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a leave of absence request for Brennan Froud due to work issues. I believe he's looking for 1 year.
No. Wait a minute.
Yeah, essentially through February of 2023.
Yeah, 1 year, 1 year leave of absence. I'd like to make a motion to approve Brennan Froud's request for a leave of absence.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We also have a leave of absence request from Brittany Gardina. She's looking for a 6-month leave of absence until October of this year. I'd like to make a motion to approve the requested leave of absence for Brittany Gardina. So moved.
Second.
We have a leave of absence request for Michael Larm. He's looking for a 3-month leave of absence from the town of Patterson EMS. I'd like to make a motion to approve Mr. Larm's leave of absence request. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Charles?
Next, we have CSEA Employee Benefits Agreement. And this is a part of sort of memorializing part of the contract. And it covers payments covering vision plan and what's the other one? Just vision, Rich? Hold on.
Dental and vision.
Dental and vision, thank you. I got it,
Yep.
thank you. And so I'll make a motion that the town board approve the dental and vision benefit fund plan as outlined in the correspondence between Supervisor Williams and Jordan Ryder, Senior Benefits Specialist for the CSEA. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
One
Next,
second. You okay, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
next, we have a request from the Putnam Lake Seniors relative to a trip to Resorts World Catskills and for June 9th, 2022. And the net cost of the budget is $440 after they make their payments per person. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve the the Putnam Lake Senior request for a trip to Resorts World Catskills on June 9th. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Next one is also from the Putnam Lake Seniors. Is a trip on October 25th. You go to the Villa Roma, and that cost of the budget is $1,994. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve the senior trip request to Villa Roma on 10/25/2022. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, we have a request from the Justice Court relative to the need for a new copier. Our supervisor checked out 5 vendors and there was no response. So the state contract calls for AVP business products, local. And so I'll make a motion that the town board approve the purchase of a copier from AVP Business Products in the amount not to exceed $1,500. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, first we have the Patterson Town Hall Emergency Action Plan. This is something that goes through revisions and adjustments from time to time. And I want to thank Sue Brown specifically and Vinny, our fire. Well, thank you. Our fire inspector who spent a lot of time working through this plan and making adjustments. This is the plan that deals with kind of an all hazards emergencies for the town hall employees, things like power outages, unfortunately, things like bomb threats, sheltering in place. It's something that was provided to the town, and I wanted to ask if anyone had any comment on the plan.
So I do. Having gone through the plan, again, it's obvious a lot of effort went into this. It's a good plan, I think. The one thing I didn't see in here that I would like to see in here is a hierarchy of people responsible, who's in charge, right? So typically, if there's an emergency, I'm in the building, you know, I'm gonna be in charge, but what happens when I'm out doing an inspection?
Yeah.
I'm not here.
You're not allowed to leave the building though, right?
Yeah, right.
You know.
And
But
we
you're
saw
right.
that, and we saw that once before where, you know, the supervisor was not in the building, there was a bomb scare called in, and it got a little crazy around here. And the other thing is, you know, what the hierarchy is when, you know, I'm just not in town.
Right. Yeah,
Have you
because
done drills?
Excuse me?
Have you had drills in the building? Done
We have
drills?
not. I'm dying to pull that fire alarm.
Yeah, well, that would be a good idea.
They
And,
won't let me near it though.
well,
We have fire drills annually.
no, I mean a drill in
Do
an
you wait for me to
emergency if
leave the
there was a threat to the
No,
building.
We lock you in the closet.
Ah.
Well, it might be a good idea for you to do that, not be around and, when the drill goes off.
We're not recommending somebody calling a bomb threat. We're hoping to test the plan some other way, but yeah.
Well, you just do a drill that there was a threat.
Yeah.
A lockout drill. A lockdown.
A lockdown drill?
Well, you did a lockdown per se over the last year with a First Amendment auditor who came to it. That was a
Yeah, we did.
lockdown and notifying the other departments. So that
Yeah.
was an actual concern.
So each department should have their own plan on what they would do if, and not look at you and be like, what do we do?
Yeah. So no, I agree. I think that hierarchy of a chain of command of, when you're not here, normally I would recommend, again, Sue is the liaison to the safety committee. I would recommend that she be the person. But again, if both of you are out, there should be a chain of command. You're more familiar with the plan. You're more involved with the drills. And so it would make sense. But I think that's something that we can look at and add in to the
It should
plan.
be an easy add-in.
Yeah. Okay, great. Work on that. Next item we have is we had done interviews for, it seems like we have a lot of vacancies. We're filling tons of positions, but that's just the nature of flux of positions here in the town. So we have a vacancy that we'd like to fill on the, I forgot the wrong one. No, Lou and the, okay, so the next on the agenda, I'm sorry, is Putt Lake Park Advisory Board. What I'd like to do is table this until after, we're going to discuss this more in executive session. So motion to table.
All in favor?
Aye. And then what I was looking for was the next one being the Board of Assessment Review. This is a vacancy for an unexpired term, which will be a 5-year term ending September 30th, 2026. We have a resolution that would appoint Mr. Arturo Jara as a member of the BAR for the unexpired term expiring September 30, 2026. So I'd like to move this resolution and ask that it be entered into the record as though read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then the next item, the BAR appointing the chair, I'd like to motion to table or remove from the agenda. It's not something that the town board actually needs to take an action on. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, last meeting, we talked about the need for having a use of deadly force policy. This is in relationship to employees of the town of Patterson who may need to carry firearms while on duty, specifically the court clerks, and our insurance company is looking to have this policy in place. I provided the board with copies. Does anybody have any comments on it?
No.
All reviewed it. We're all good. Did hear back from the judges and they're okay. That being said, I do have a resolution here adopting the approval of the town of Patterson policy for use of force, deadly physical force, and the use of firearms. And I would like to make a motion to approve this resolution. I would like to move the resolution, ask that it be entered into the minutes as though read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great event is coming to Patterson. I hope I'm not going to steal your thunder, George, but I had a meeting with the Patterson Library and the Patterson Rotary, and am I stealing your thunder? And Cartwright Tent, and they're planning to do Touch a Truck. This year, they are moving Touch a Truck to the Patterson Fire Department Firegrounds. It is tentatively going to be Saturday, June 4th, with a rain date of June 5th. And it will run from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Because of the increased participation of the Patterson Library and Cartwright Tent, both scheduling, activities on their property, we're hoping to have a really good turnout. But the one thing we were a little bit short on is parking in the area, because the touch of trucks are going to be staged where the Patterson Fire Department, when they have an event, they normally have their parking.
Mhm.
So they've requested the use of town hall for parking for the event. I don't have a problem with it. I don't think we need to do anything, but I would like to make a motion to approve the Patterson Rotary, Patterson Library and Cartwright Tent to use the Patterson Town Hall parking lot for the Touch a Truck event on June 4th with a rain date of June 5th. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, county ARPA funds. We've been noticed from the county, we received notice from the county that the county is willing to share their ARP funds. This is the funding that we've received for, from the federal government. And they are willing to match it with sales tax. So they're going to be sharing their sales tax. In total, the county is looking to share about $1,181,656,000. So $1,181,656. And that leads the question to what projects are we going to allocate towards that funding? I've given the town board a list of projects. My list of projects, if my numbers are correct, adds up to about $1.9 million worth of projects. So it's about 535,000 over. But I wanted to have the conversation tonight about, what your priorities are, what you think are projects you'd like to see move forward. Some of these projects we may drop off and take it out of, fund balance and or contingency fund this year, the laptops being one of them. And I don't know that the laptops, even though they are implementing the state mandated emergency operation plan, would end up qualifying. So wanted to just get your thoughts. Some of these numbers that I provided, I can give you a little bit more explanation. Some of them, like the Putnam Lake Dam, I'm just pulling it out of thin air, honestly.
Yeah. But I mean,
What about the
What's the
Putnam Lake dredging?
I don't believe that's an eligible cost under the ARPA.
it's not like an infrastructure or infrastructure. I think the EMS building, to me, stands out as one of the top of the list. I'd like to see funding going towards that. Think about infrastructure improvements to our community that benefit the entire community. So the EMS building certainly stands out on that one.
I agree.
Obviously, any improvements to water districts, I think, meet the intent of that funding as well. That's why we're looking at the originals. We're not talking about it now, but the original source of funding that the town is getting directly from the feds, we had earmarked for the Front Street, Dorset Hollow water treatment upgrade. And I think that's a really good project for the improvement and future of the town. So any of the water districts, the EMS building, I think, emergency generator improvements is worthwhile, which you have earmarked for VFW. That certainly can serve multiple functions in emergency response, whether it be warming stations, cooling stations, distribution for dry ice. So having them on generator is certainly a good step forward.
Well, I do think we need to either do the electronic boards or the website so we can communicate with them.
Yeah, the message boards
town.
definitely. I would agree with that.
I think we have to decide,
Mhm.
what years we're going to do this. We're not going to do this all.
The funding is,
Funding.
if we were to accept this, Charlie, the funding is coming to us at this time.
We have to get this all complete by 2024.
Oh, okay. All right. So,
No rush.
well, that's what I was about to say. I mean, we don't have to do it all in 2022. Some of these
No,
things
we're
can
gonna-
go out to
Just have to
20,
get the approval for how you're gonna spend the money.
and when? Because this money is one-shot deal.
Well, so that's a very good question, but if the county is willing to share their sales tax, every year, and the program that has been set up at this point, there's the potential for, getting shared sales tax every year now. In future years, we certainly might consider throwing that at the treasury.
Because that's not, that
That's,
doesn't come with the same stipulations on it. That's just funding to the town that we can use as we see fit. So I agree, that would be an appropriate use.
Yeah, and
Where
again,
this
I
has
brought this up before. We have to be careful of strings. I mean, they're going to give us this sales tax money. Now, are they going to say, okay, you have to make whole unpaid taxes? Are you going to pick up the cost for students going to the community colleges type of thing? This is too.
that was not my sense, and you've got to remember, they're sharing the sales tax over what they're projecting their revenues to be, over the
Yeah.
budget amount. So those costs, which have been incurred by the county, for years, are already anticipated, they're already budgeted for, they're already accounted for with the funding. So they're only sharing what's over and above. So, again, the reality is they're talking about matching the ARPA funds, assuming they meet their budget projections for the revenue. If that drops down, if they don't meet it, or they just go over a little bit, we could end up with significantly less money, which is why it's important also to prioritize these projects. So if we don't have the funding, we can drop it off.
Let me
Start
go back
small.
a second to my friend,
What's that?
Mr. Sean.
Start small.
Well,
So do
again,
we indicate years that we want to have this done, or we don't?
No, we don't, because,
We just say, here's the priority, and then we just have to get it done by 2024, or we lose if we don't do it.
so what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, this is what we want to do, and we're gonna send it over to the county, and then we're gonna see if the county approves them.
Mhm.
And assuming the county approves them, then I'm gonna have to jump on them and start getting them implemented and getting them done, because they've got to be done by 2024.
Yeah.
Right? So that's not a lot of time to design, build some of these projects.
Right.
Mhm.
But I have to do it smartly so that if we don't get all the funding, I'm not spending money that we don't have.
well, so we've already, that's why I said the EMS building, we've committed to that project.
Yep.
And we would get, to be clear, the ARPA funding that the county is giving us, that is not as subject to change. That's not related to the sales tax. That's a separate number. So essentially $600,000 from the county's portion of their ARPA funding is being funneled to the town based on our per capita, based on our number of our population. So we're getting 590,000 there. And then if everything goes well, another 590 from the sales tax portion. So I still see the EMS building, something that we've already committed to moving
Yeah.
forward with. I agree with Mary also. I missed the message boards. I'm totally in favor of using that funding for that as well, because that's broadcasting messaging throughout our towns. And certainly seems to be the intent of what this funding should be used for.
So I also would do those 1 and 2, and then I would do Alpine District and Putnam Lake Dam as 3 and split the funding.
Yep.
And at least get the preliminary design work done and paid for. And then if we had money after that, move on with that. And bottom of the list would be the generator.
Yeah.
And I would drop off the laptops, and I would drop off the website
From this source of funding, yeah,
from this list.
right. Because we can get that funding from other areas.
And take those out of contingency.
So we're talking about the EMS building,
remember, just because we drop something off the list doesn't mean we're not
Mhm.
interested in doing it. We're talking about where the funding's
Yeah.
coming from.
Well, it's
you know.
small and it's quick also,
Right.
you know, those are
Yeah.
things we could do right away.
I just want to make sure I understand my friend here. EMS building. Putnam Lake Dam, second.
No,
No,
message board second.
Message
the
boards.
electronic message boards.
Okay.
Then split the next funding that we have between the Putnam Lake Dam and the Alpine Water District. To start working on both of those to at least get the design work done,
Okay.
to upgrade both those facilities.
Really important projects.
Well, they're projects I've been chasing money for forever, like I have for Front Street.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we've got the money now for Front Street, so. We all want agreements?
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay,
It's a good.
I will convey that on to our legislature and legislator and see where this goes. And the last item on my agenda is the EMT salaries, which I would like to discuss in executive session because it has to do with their contract.
Mhm.
So I would like to table that till the end of the meeting. And I will defer my executive session to the end of the meeting as well. That comes down to other business. Oh, no, wait, we've got one more. We had a late request. One of these days, we'll get this all right. For new members for the Putnam Lake Fire Department, does somebody want to take care of this?
I'll make a motion to town board approve the following persons who have been accepted as members of the Putnam Lake Fire Department. Alfred Gebbing and Dylan Marcus, both of Patterson, New York. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, other business. Any town board member have any other business? Anybody want to do one?
I'll mention that the April 23rd at the Patterson Recreation Center, Military and Knife Collector Show will be on from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Plenty of parking, easy access, admission $5, children under 12 free with an adult. Come one, come all. Again, April 23rd, 9 to 3. Okay. Thank you.
I figured I'd leave you this one.
What you got?
So, like to ask for volunteers that they are needed for community cleanup. Warren Beach, April 23rd and 24th, starting at 9 a.m. It's a Putnam Lake Earth Day event. Garbage bags will be provided at Warren Beach. They can be left in any receptacle on the parkland for pickup. Sponsored by the Putnam Lake Park District. So weather's getting nice. If everyone can get out there and help do the cleanup, that would be appreciated.
Okay, next up, in just over 2 weeks, the Putnam County Department of Health will be having their residential household hazardous waste cleanup day, which is April 30th, Saturday, April 30th, from 9 to 12 at the Fawnstock State Park. That's over off of Route 301 in Kent. Great opportunity to clean those chemicals out of your garage or your basement that you've been holding on to for far too long. New this year, they will actually be accepting latex paint, which we haven't accepted in the past. But this year they have the contractor is doing paint recycling. So at no cost to the county or the DEC, they will be accepting those paints as well, which in the past we had sent people away with to dispose of by, either drying them out with cat litter or letting them air dry, and then you can throw them in your household trash. They're not toxic, but they will use them as part of a recycling program. So if you are interested in the Hazardous Waste Cleanup Day, you need to pre-register, and you can do that by going, there's a link on the County Health Department website. If you need more information, you can call 845-808-1390, and the extension is 43125. Or like I said, visit the Health Department website. It's the flyer. It's a lot of information. So I apologize for that, but great opportunity to clean those toxic chemicals out of your basement. Good. Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
All right, lastly, I'd like to welcome Choice Pets to the town of Patterson. They have moved into the space formerly where Pet Value was in Patterson Commons near the Acme Shopping Center. They are a Connecticut-based pet specialty retailer with a very knowledgeable staff and premium products. I would encourage you all to visit and meet the staff and look at the products. It's a wonderful store. So, public recognition. Any member of the public here wish to be recognized, please approach the mic, give your name and address, and make your comments.
George Disbrow on Tammany Hall Road. First, as a resident, I just had a quick question, perhaps for Sue. The Town Hall EAP, is that available for review? Because we could certainly use.
When it's approved, it will be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. On behalf of the library, I'd like to just talk briefly about some of the May programs. This will allow us a little time for Paul to get it out there, and then eventually it will go on TV. So it'll give us a little time for May. Beautiful weather today, spring cleaning, and the library is offering spring lending tools. So you can just come in there. We have a vast assortment of non-mechanized tools for you to borrow. So for your spring cleaning, we also have open computers is on Tuesday. I'd like to just mention a few adult programs and 2 children programs. I would encourage anyone to go to our website at pattersonlibrary.org for a full list of everything, because I would just take up too much time talking about them. But some of the adult programs, we have National Geographic. They were having a whole series on Thursdays at 1 o'clock in the afternoon about the national parks. So you're welcome to come for that. Tuesday, May 10th, we're having estate planning at 7 p.m. That requires a registration. But I think, speaking for myself, getting to that point, I need to do that. And the last one for the adult programs, a favorite of mine. My all-time favorite movie is Casablanca, and it's the 80th anniversary. Thank you, Mr. Cook. It's the 80th anniversary. So Thursday, May 12th at 12:30 in the afternoon, there will be a viewing of the of Casablanca. Just 2 quick children's programs I'd like to mention is that on Mondays, 10 o'clock, all Mondays, we have Music with Meg. That would obviously be for younger kids who are not in school. And then we also have a gaming club on Wednesday, May 11th at, can't read my writing, 4:30 in the afternoon after school is over with. But again, we have so many programs that are going on. Thank you, Mr. Williams, for talking about Touch a Truck. It will save me the time of doing that in May for June. So I thank you very much.
You should do it again in May.
You're always welcome.
Good evening, Bruce Major, 166 Somerset Drive. I was wondering if you could give us a little sense of where we are with the hotel on 311.
There is currently an application for a 119-room boutique hotel who is looking to exceed our height standards because of economics. They need that number of rooms, and 4 floors, and to get the mechanicals in, they need a tower to go along with it. So they're currently before the ZBA and the planning board, who are evaluating the project, and we will see where it goes.
At the last ZBA meeting, I brought up the issue about flying balloons at the height so that the people who live in that area could see the height. It seemed to be accepted by both the ZBA and the applicant. Has a date been set for that?
Has not.
Will it be done?
I assume it will be.
And how will it be advertised?
That is up to the ZBA and the planning board. It's not up to this board. We don't have an application for a hotel in front of us.
I understand that.
I'm not gonna
But you
speak.
were in fact at that ZBA meeting.
I was, and I did hear the ZBA say that they wanted to do that.
I realize that. The people that live there were really upset that they were unaware that it was coming. And I can understand, and I think I've raised this before, public notices in the paper. The people who read them are the ones who want to do business with the town. People who are concerned that their house is going to be taken. And that's pretty much it. Okay, or if they're starting a business, an LLC or something like that. Very few people read them. And that's why you get a turnout like that. I think it would be helpful, especially if we're going to have a thing such as the flying of balloons so people would be able to see, that it would also be advertised in the paper as an article to let the general people know in the area that it's coming. You'd be surprised how many calls I got and said, there's a hotel coming? I said, well, there's an application present. So I would think, the other thing I noticed when I drove by, and I may have missed it, in many towns, they have to post a white sign with their intentions. Is that required in this town?
It is required prior to a public hearing being held.
Prior to it?
Yes,
Now, was one put up? I may have missed it.
I don't know. I don't recall seeing one.
I don't recall seeing one. And I think that also
No.
is something that should be addressed. And then I just have 2 more issues. One, the weather's getting nice. I'd like to know, what is the status of the parking area over on 311 for the bike path?
Good question. We are frequently pressing the county. So the county has a grant to install a parking lot, both there and on 312. They tied the 2 projects together. I know the owner is anxious to get that done because he can't really open his facility until some of the work up front gets done. And so we are pressing the county constantly, but it is entirely in the county's hands, and they are moving at their speed.
Yes, because at the ZBA, he was at the ZBA meeting,
Mhm.
and I did speak to him about that. He indicated that he was signing a contract that week. So,
I don't know if he signed it.
okay, fine. Then I guess the last thing is the railroad crossing down by the rec center.
Yes,
What is the status of that?
by the rec center. Maple Quarry.
Yes,
The DOT has asked for comments on the potential design that they have submitted. We submitted comments back. The comments were not significant, based on the fact that nobody else had any comments. And I assume they're going to respond to me at some point, which was basically, what is the town going to be responsible for? They are starting the design work to make the improvements down there.
okay. And at that meeting, it was raised by the residents of that area about having a quiet crossing. And I believe a representative of the federal highway, federal train and whatever,
Right.
indicated that it is doable, that he would look into it and let the local authorities know what it would take.
Right.
It probably won't work out, but did they ever get back to you?
No, and that was my second comment. I wanted confirmation that it was going to be a quiet crossing.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Hearing none, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session.
Motion to go into executive.
Oh, I'm
session.
sorry, I forgot.
Sorry.
I apologize. All right, I would ask anybody joining us by Zoom if they have any comments, if you would unmute, give your name and address for the record, and state your comments or questions.
Sorry, there's a few people that are talking.
Okay. All right, thank you. Now I would like to make a motion to go into executive session.
Motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor? New day, Zoom.
I'm just glad it wasn't my wife on Zoom saying, how